Hello, it's Sadie. Wanted to come on. Actually, was not expecting to come on and do this video today, but I think it is timely and I think it needs to be done. But first, I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a personal story. So this is spiritual talk, psychic attack, and shielding techniques. What is psychic attack? And then I'm going to talk about some shielding techniques. So let's start with the story. So what prompted this video for me today is, so yesterday, Good Friday, so I'm filming this on Saturday, the 8th of April. Yesterday was Good Friday. I had a great day. Started off really great. I was with my daughter. We had like a girls' day. We went shopping, went to the bookstore, went to the crystal shop, you know, things that we like to do on days that we get to like hang out and spend together. She was happy to be out off of school, and it was just like we had a beautiful day. Energetically, we were in a high vibration, okay? We were doing great, we were happy, we were laughing, we were joking around, but we could notice, and even my daughter, who's highly empathic, just people were very triggered, people were very angry, like around us, not so much directed or projected at us, but just around us. We were kind of noticing it. And interestingly enough, when we went to the crystal shop, I go to this little hole in the wall crystal shop that is owned by an absolutely lovely lady. And my daughter went in. I always make her like, hey, you know, I'm not going to pick for you. You know, what's calling to you, you go and you figure out what you want. And so she chose this beautiful selenite bracelet. And when we were purchasing it, the lady who owns the crystal shop, who is so kind and so beautiful, gave my daughter a really beautiful black tourmaline bracelet as well. And so it kind of like alerted me to like, okay, we need more protection. So I did kind of at that point just call upon Archangel Michael. And I always say protection throughout the day, but we were out in public a lot yesterday, and so I was just doing, you know, a little bit more protection over us. Again, we had a really nice day. I came on, did the prayer circle, and then I had to take her to her dad. So that's why I started the prayer circle early, because it's this weekend and I went to drive her to her dad's. I got home, everything was still good, and then I sent her a text, like good night text, and then she responds like, it's not coming up your number. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, it's coming up some weird email address. And so I go to look at my iPhone and the settings and stuff, and sure enough, like for whatever reason, my number had been deleted from my iPhone settings, and it was coming up this email address, and it was an email address that I used to use, but I haven't really used this email in like, I want to say at least 5 years. So I went in to try to like access it. I couldn't access it. Long story short, basically my Apple ID, my Apple everything got compromised. So my contacts have been compromised, my emails have been compromised. I've spent most of last night and a good portion of today erasing everything, resetting everything, downloading everything, changing passwords, so on and so forth. And it's funny, I had gotten a warning about protecting myself or a cyber attack earlier that day from my dad, who didn't realize like what he was saying at the time when he said it. And sure enough, it happened. And so part of why I'm saying this is because, number one, I just want you guys to be safe and protected. Really watch your stuff right now, especially like your technology. Lots of cyber attacks happening. But secondly, if you get because there's some of you who do have my phone number, right? If you get an email from a weird email address that's not YinReikiLight, if you get a text or a message from a weird phone number that's not me, or that's claiming it's me, it's not me. I just want you to know it's not me. And so protect yourself, block and delete. You know, I just don't want you guys to be compromised because my stuff was compromised. So, but this goes into the video of psychic attacks. So I mentioned this before. I've been, since my spiritual awakening, part of what triggered my spiritual awakening was that after this happened about 7 years ago now, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, my daughter basically told me that someone had inappropriately touched her. I did a report, and ever since that time, I have been what is commonly referred to as a targeted individual. I get followed everywhere. I get, it's like having your own personal paparazzi, I guess, you know. Usually when I'm on camera, ironically enough, people don't want to be on camera. So they're very, very, like, if I start a video, like there was a ton of people around me as I was grounding, and now there's nobody here at this park because I started the video, right? They don't want to be seen. But I know that the cyber attack was actually part of a psychic attack because I've been having more of these attacks lately. You could say, I guess, I'm expanding and growing and evolving, and I've had a lot projected at me energetically. But because I've had so much projected at me energetically over the last 6-7 years of my life, I've learned energetically how to protect myself. And so now I'm getting like physical attacks. Like when this was like a couple weeks ago, I did a live, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to come back on. And then my car didn't start. Like constant tampering with my car, my brakes, my tires, my starter. I've had so many issues, and like getting things fixed and then literally like having to refix it like 2-3 months down the road. I had my tax refund stolen. I had bank accounts compromised, and this has all just been in the last, like, since the beginning of this year. So it's been amping up. Part of the reason why I want to do this video is because I know that many of you are going through psychic attacks as well. Some of them energetic, but some of them actual like attacks on things in your life. And so I think it's important, again, I think it's timely to do this video. It's not a topic I talk about a lot, but part of the ascension path is this, unfortunately. You know, I think the biggest misconception for those who begin an ascension path, those who begin to grow spiritually, is thinking that it's all love and light. And it's not. That's why I did that spiritual bypassing video. There's as you grow in light and as you expand your vibration and grow in consciousness, especially if you had a lot of, and were sort of familiar with a lot of toxic connections, your own shadow stuff that allowed you to kind of be in situations that were highly karmic, as you start to heal and grow those things, there's going to be people around you and situations around you that are going to be incredibly triggered. You know, your light is going to not only trigger the darkness and the demons within others, it's also going to attract it as well. And so it's important to know and understand what a psychic attack is, and to kind of shield and protect yourself from it as best as possible. So that is the purpose of this video. And for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to kind of like, it's more like a reference point of like things that I use, things that I've used, things that have worked for me. You have to remember, one size does not fit all. And so always trust your guidance. Always listen to your intuition. But, you know, there could be some very, very helpful tips on this video for some of you. And so that is why I'm making it, right? So let's get into it. Psychic attack. What is psychic attack? So as we are in this physical realm, right? We are in the earth realm. We are in this earth school. We have to understand that the physical world, there is a physical world, but there's also a non-physical world that we live in and exist in at the same time. Duality is a simultaneous experience. And so the physical and the non-physical are simultaneous. Light and dark are simultaneous. And so if you can understand that, you can understand that there are many things and energies, because everything is energy, that you interact with every day that you may not be able to see, or that you may not have a name for, but that do exist. And so if you can kind of wrap your mind around that, and I know many of you already know that and you're fully aware of that, that is why it is so important to like listen to your intuition, listen to your instincts. What does something make you feel? What are you seeing from it? Because that's important. It's important. You might be seeing something in a way that everybody else cannot see because of your own unique psychic gifts, because of your own unique intuitive abilities. And so first and foremost, again, always trust your instincts, always trust your intuition, always trust what something makes you feel. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's not for you, and just leave it be. Okay. But with that and the non-physical world, many people, not just spiritual people, but you can say those who are unawakened or those who are very religious, again, don't fully recognize and understand that we exist in the physical world, but we are also existing in non-physical worlds and realms at the same time. And so someone can be very mad at you, someone can be very upset with you, and not be intentionally trying to send you hate or negativity or the evil eye, but just their anger with you, and they're thinking about you in a negative way, because thoughts are things and thoughts become things. They're projecting that energy, that thought energy towards you. That is a form of psychic attack. So many psychic attacks are unintentional. All right. Just people being upset with you, a stranger that, is pissed off that you're not driving as fast as they are in traffic, who cuts you off. There's all these very, very common forms of what can be considered a psychic attack. Now, here's where it gets heavier and trickier, is because there also, as there are people walking around in this earth, there are entities and there are beings that are non-physical and non-human that are also living and existing in this realm as well. Many can see, many can feel them. If you can't see them, you can feel them, or you just get a sense like something's off for you, or but many of these beings or entities, some are light beings, some are very helpful, beautiful energies to work with, but there are many others that are not. You can say dark beings or dark entities. And so one thing you have to understand about these dark entities, because they are not human, they are not in corporeal form like we have a physical, biological body, and we have a spiritual self. So we have both the etheric and the physical. They are only in the etheric realms. So you can say astral realms, you can say 4D. It's not just 4D though, there's other dimensions that they exist in. especially like the lower ones. There are lower dimensions, lower entities that exist as well in this same realm. And so those entities, their energy is parasitic. So they need a host, just like a parasite, just like a tick. You know, tick needs a host. It needs to feed off of blood. It needs to feed off of an energy form, a life form, a living form to stay alive. If a parasite doesn't have a host, it doesn't live. Same thing with these lower energies, these lower entities. They need a life source to stay alive. And so a lot of the things, though, that they feed off of are fear, anger, hatred, you know, very, very strong emotions, but the lower, denser, energetic emotions that we as humans are going to experience in this earth realm, okay? And so there are energies and entities, again, they feed off of these energies, they feed off of these emotions, they feed off of the thought forms, the negative thoughts and the fear-based thoughts. And there are people, just like there are light workers, who, you know, really want to serve from a place of unconditional love. There are those who have great spiritual knowledge, understand the energetic realms, understand different dimensions, and work with lower beings. So they can be called, you can call them dark workers. I call them personally Agent Smiths, because they can be anyone, anywhere, at any time, right? And they'll work with these energies. So it's like certain practitioners, black magic practitioners, other practitioners who know how to use the energy in a way where they're siphoning it like a parasite, siphoning a life force or siphoning something to take power to gain something for themselves. All right. So when there are psychic attacks of those forms, those are the ones that kind of pack the most punch. Okay. Like I said, someone can like give you a dirty look and be kind of just like in a bad mood, and it's like an unintentional psychic attack, but it really doesn't. You might be like, oh, that person was rude or whatever, but it doesn't really affect you. For purposes of this video, I'm talking about the ones that can affect you, especially if you are doing energy work, if you are a healer, if you are a reader, if you are an intuitive, or if you are just learning and growing your spiritual gifts. These are the ones that can really, really affect you and affect your energy, okay? And so ways in which you can tell that you are being psychically attacked. Number one, and this is like one of the biggest signs, is that for no medical reason or no, you know, physiological reason, like, you know, if you're working 80 hours a week and you're like totally drained and tired, sorry, I'm adjusting this because I put it in a weird situation and now, okay, there we go. If you're like working 80 hours a week and you're just physically drained and tired, that's a normal reason to be drained and tired, right? But if you like, you get pretty normal amounts of sleep, you are eating fairly healthily, or even eating kind of like what you would call your sort of normal diet, and you're constantly feeling drained, like you have no energy, like you don't have the motivation, you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to do anything, your body is so exhausted, your mind is exhausted, that is a big telltale sign of a significant psychic attack, right? And again, everything I bring through this video is not to invoke any type of fear. But as my guides are always saying, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And sometimes we will, not understanding that we're dealing with a psychic attack or dealing with some sort of like energetic drain, will like assume that it is something else. This is very, very true for those of you who may be going through health issues that are undiagnosed, like certain autoimmune issues where it's just like a vague, like, you know, you're given like a vague diagnosis, but none of the treatments are helping, none of the dietary changes are helping, like those things. That's also an indicator of a significant psychic attack, okay? Because it's important to understand, again, even though we have a physical body, we also have an etheric body. And so there's always a spiritual aspect to everything that we deal with in the physical. Another form of psychic attack can be where you're finding that, and you've never had this issue before, but you're finding that you're just like more klutzy, more accident prone, always dropping things, always breaking things around you are constantly breaking. And it's not like a Mercury retrograde where you just have like, okay, it's like a couple weeks where you've noticed this like sort of ongoing, God, I'm always tripping and falling, I'm always stubbing my toe, I'm always cutting myself, I'm always like, where it's so obvious it's happening all the time. That can be a definite indicator of a very, very concentrated psychic attack towards you. Another thing is kind of like what I'm going through, where it's like you're getting actual like attacks, like your car is continuously breaking down, you'll get it fixed, everyone's saying everything's okay, and then a week later something else happens. You're getting money taken, you're getting different things like sabotaged. So it's where it's like a psychic attack, but it's also like more actual attacks. That's an indicator of a significant psychic attack as well. And so another indicator is that you feel sick all the time. Like you go to the doctor, and I'm not saying like you're dealing with illness, I'm saying you feel sick to your stomach all the time. You go to the doctor and there's nothing physically wrong with you. Like they can't find anything. You have not been diagnosed with anything, but like you feel like you want to throw up all the time. You're in certain environments around certain people and you feel nauseous or sick to your stomach, or kind of like you just got like, if you've ever felt that feeling of like being like punched in the stomach or kicked in the stomach, like it's just like that heaviness in your stomach, that is also a big sign and indicator of psychic attack. Another one is nightmares and having bad dreams, because a lot of these energetic entities, that's when they're out and about at night very, very strongly. And so you notice you're just having like consistent, it's not just wild dreams and vivid dreams or strange dreams, it's like bad dreams. You know, you're being chased, you're being attacked in your dreams, something or someone's trying to harm you in your dream. That is a significant sign of psychic attack. Okay, so I'm bringing through like some of the major signs of psychic attack. There are others, but these are some of like the big ones. And so what can you do about it? Because for every problem there is always a solution, okay? Always. And that is the one thing that it's important to know, is no matter what is projecting energy at you, there is nothing and no one more powerful in your life than you. You are sovereign, you are God. Connect to your higher self, your I am presence, and affirm that. Every time you feel like someone's bullying you, hurting you, attacking you, affirm, I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. There is no power outside of me greater than me. There is no power outside of me greater than me, okay? So, once you do that, definitely always connect to your guides, your angels, especially if you're dealing with like physical drain, feeling sick all the time, or having like an illness that's sort of like vague illness where even if you're being treated for it, you're not really getting any relief or help, and you're noticing that it's getting worse. The other thing I forgot to mention to you is sometimes depression and even feelings of suicide can be a significant type psychic attack as well. Like if you don't really like, let me explain this. So I digress for a moment and then I'll come back to solutions. So say things are going pretty well in your life. Like, you know, maybe not everything's perfect, but you're doing good. And you're looking at your life and you're like, kind of like, I have no reason to feel really down and depressed, but I'm feeling really down and depressed. I'm feeling so down and depressed that I feel hopeless. I feel like, I don't want to be here anymore. All these things that can be an indicator again of significant psychic attack, because remember, there are energies around you that you are constantly interacting with that you may not see. Energies that can influence your thoughts, energies that can influence your feelings, energies that can influence your health, energies that can influence all areas of your life. And so it's important to understand that not all of the thoughts you think are yours. And certainly if you are an empath, not all of the feelings you feel are yours. And so if you're starting to feel really down, really in the dumps, feeling that energy of despair and hopelessness, really tap into your guidance, your higher self, your angels, and pray and ask, okay, is this me or is this something else? Is this something else that I need to know about this situation? You can just ask, am I being attacked and how can I protect myself? Because you will be given the signs and the guidance. It's funny. I know Mary Jo talked about this recently, and I was noticing too, just because the energy is so intense and it's shifting and changing so much. I was praying and asking, okay, I need to elevate my shielding techniques. I need to elevate my protection techniques. And I was given this one shield that I think is great. I've been using it for about a month now and I've noticed a huge difference. So I am going to mention it in this video, right? It's part of the solutions part. But I did want to say that if you are feeling that level of depression, of hopelessness, and you just feel like giving up, and there's not really, it's not like you're going through like a ton of stressful things happening. Life is just kind of status quo. There's no real significant reason why you should be feeling that way, but you're feeling that way. That is definitely also mostly a sign of a significant psychic attack towards you. And like I said, you know, there are energies and people who don't want to lose the control that they have in this world, who want to continue to keep people oppressed, keep people in fear, keep people in doubt. You know, all of the industries that we have, and listen, this video could be wiped off of YouTube and that's okay, but it needs to be said. The beauty industry, the health industry, healthcare, it's not healthcare, it's sick care. Like Marianne Williams says, we don't have a healthcare system, we have a sick care system. We have you get sick, we're gonna give you some medicine for treatment, but then that treatment's gonna make you sick in other ways, and we're gonna give you all these other medicines, and then we're gonna figure out how we can continue to drain you and keep treating symptoms and not actually cure any illness or problems or disease. So we don't have a healthcare system, we have a sick care system. the beauty industry, you know, all of these industries that are the major industries of the world, the food industry, the financial industry, the banking industry, the educational industry. It is all designed to keep people from becoming their highest sovereign selves. It's to keep you sick. It's to keep you feeling like you're not good enough. Oh, you don't look like Kourtney Kardashian, or you don't look like Kylie Jenner, because Kylie Jenner doesn't look like Kylie Jenner, okay? If you look at Kylie Jenner 10 years ago, or when she was like right before she had all of her freaking fillers and plastic surgery, and look at her now, it's not the same person, because it's not the same person. Like, she was genetically altered and surgically altered to look like something else. So you don't feel bad that you don't look that way, because she doesn't look that way either, okay? Just had to say that. But, you know, we have all these like industries and things that are just designed to make us feel unworthy, feel bad about ourselves, feel like we're not good enough, you know. It's just, that's what it is. That's the game we're in. That's the matrix that we're breaking. But for those of us who are on the path, who are doing the work on ourselves, who are connecting with others, you know, you've got to understand that part of the game, and don't hate the player and don't hate the game either. It's what you chose to incarnate in because you chose to be the change. And if you were not qualified for this assignment, you would not be here. So we are all qualified. We were made for this, and we're doing it. Just, you know, we're doing it. That's all that matters. Just keep going forward, right? But keep growing. But for, you know, those of us who are really seeing our personal growth, seeing our personal expansion, there are going to be people that are going to be threatened by that. People who are going to be terrified of that. Because, ooh, you're a Neo? Ooh, you see the code? Gonna send the Agent Smiths against you. Gonna try to throw you off your game. And so that is why it's so important to focus on the light. But it's also, and it's funny because there was one that sat right there and I pointed to him and now he's walking away. Like I said, they don't want to be called out. You have to call it out. You have to see it for what it is, call it out, and then do what you need to do to protect yourself from it. So let's talk about solutions. Talk to your guides, your angels. They will give you, if you need a certain shield, if you need a certain crystal, if you need a certain book, they'll give you what you need. And so you've got to trust more that no matter what you are going through, no matter what attack you're going through, no matter what issue you're going through, that you're always going to be given exactly what you need. Okay? That's number one. But also solutions. Cleanse your energy. I did a video about this a couple months back, I think beginning of the year, where I talk about cleansing. You can use any of those techniques. You can use any of your own techniques, but you constantly want to be cleansing your energy, especially if, number one, you are doing work where you're working with others, okay? Any reader, any person who does any videos, if you're a medium, if you channel just for yourself, if you're just connecting with your own guides and angels and channeling, you always want to be cleansing. Always be cleansing. A, B, C, always be cleansing, okay? This is especially true if you are around a lot of people who are not a vibrational match to you. Always be cleansing. Like, always wear crystals, protective crystals. Lately, I've been using, I love selenite. I always use selenite. I've been using, I have moldavite as well. Moldavite's a great crystal, but it is very expensive, and you also have to be careful because there's a lot of fake moldavite. But I've been using a lot of amethyst. because I noticed like I was having a period of psychic attack dreams, but now I sleep with it under my pillow. And I also cover my head when I sleep. I have like it's not a bonnet, but I have something that kind of covers like my third eye and my crown chakra. And I've noticed that is extremely effective because nothing gets through when I'm sleeping. So I'm actually getting the rest that I want and I'm not getting the attacks. All right. So amethyst is really good because amethyst will transmute. Rose quartz actually does transmute too, because it's an energy of love, and it's that energy of heart opening and heart healing. It's the rose ray. That is also good for transmutation too. So if you don't have amethyst, but you have rose quartz on hand, start using more rose quartz, okay? Because it does like bring you into an energy of forgiveness, of having an open, peaceful heart. It's a loving energy that will keep you in a vibration of love. I've been using salt and vinegar. So what I still always like scrub with pink Himalayan salt when I take a bath or a shower. But also like if I go out in public and then I come home, I'll just take like 2 tablespoons of regular table salt, and then like a half a cup of vinegar, and I just wash my hands with it. Yes, and my daughter's like, oh, that smells really bad. And then I wash my hands with soap afterwards to get the smell off. But I just noticed like it's very, very cleansing, especially if you feel like you're being attacked by like dark magic, you know, really, really heavy, dense, dark energies. That is a good one. Whenever you're kind of out in public, you come back home, you rinse with salt and vinegar, and it's just simple as washing your hands with it. I've been doing that more. Another thing that I've been doing for cleansing purposes, and this is something that I used to do a lot and then kind of stopped doing, but now do more, is deep breathing. Like a deep pranic breath. Prana is life force. It's life force energy. If you breathe through your nose and you breathe all the way up, and then you exhale through your mouth, and you just do that for like intervals of 5 or for like, 5-10 minutes, you'll notice you're really, really going to cleanse the energy in your space. Another great thing for cleansing is tuning forks. Like that pitch, that sound of the tuning fork cleanses density in your space. So like if you get to work early before other people, you can just ding it like 1 or 2 times and just kind of keep your space cleansed. And so though, once you cleanse though, you want to shield. So some of the shields that I've been using, and I talked about this briefly earlier, this one is excellent. I'm going to post a link in the comments, and I'm going to share it in the community page. I was recently given this, and I do notice a big difference. It is called the 12D Shield Building Technique. It is by a woman named Lisa Renee. She has an online blog called Ascension Glossary, and her YouTube channel is Energetic Synthesis. I recently came upon this, but I love this technique. It activates your Merkaba and your light body, and I kind of talked about this at the beginning of the year. Actually, one of the, I think, first or second weekly energy readings, I said using your Merkaba as a shield is going to be very, very important for this year. And this is a great Merkaba shielding, energetic shielding. And so again, I will post the link for that. There is also a prayer. I have put it in my community page before. I'm going to share it again in the comments for this video. It's by a shaman. Her name is Summer Hawk Wolf. It is the Archangel Michael clearing prayer. But in that prayer, you activate like your 5D tube of light, which is a great clearer but also shield. You know, you can always invoke Archangel Michael to shield your energy. He has the electric blue shield. There's always the white light to shield your energy. My mother, when I was a teenager, gave me a very like basic one, but it's basic, but it's effective, is I surround myself with the white light of Christ. Now it is Christ, so you can say the white light of God, the white light of source, the white light of universe. I know not everybody, you know, is into the Christ and Christ consciousness and religion, and I understand that and I respect it. But whatever resonates for you, okay? I surround myself in the white light of Christ so that nothing but good and unconditional love can enter my aura. And you can just kind of say that in your head as you're going throughout the day, but that is a great shield, and it's very, very simple. My daughter uses that one. I give that one to my daughter to use like when she's at school and stuff. So once you cleanse your energy, you want to shield your energy. You can also use numeric shields, okay? So there's different numeric codes. This is one from SRT. Her name is Caroline Cousins. I'd highly recommend her channel because she's got a lot of SRT is spiritual response therapy. Basically, it's like these codes that they use and these booklets that they use, and they use a pendulum, and it's like clearing the energy. I do use her when I feel like there's a lot of heavy negative energy around me. She has clearing density, clearing black magic. She has like a couple videos on that. Those are really good ones. You also can clear like finances. You can clear, you know, health issues. She's got a great channel. You know, it's not a big channel, but she's got a great channel and great work of resources there. So highly recommend her, and I'll put her in the comments as well. But there's a numeric shield you can use. It's 12 times 8. You just say 12 times 8, my energy spirit, 12 times 8, 12 times 8, 12 times 8. And you want to say it like, you know, you can say it 21 times, 44 times, 108 times. You just want to say it enough where you're feeling shielded. Now, is it bulletproof? Is it like 100%? No, but it definitely helps. I know there's some gematria shields as well, codes that you can use. I don't really use them for shielding, but there are some, and if you're interested, I will put some of those in the comments. One way to, also in this video, I'm going to talk about detecting negative energy, or how to tell if you are being heavily psychic attacked. Okay, so one of the ways, and there is a YouTuber, he's got a big channel, I think I'm going to butcher his last name, but it's Mark Bareski. He has this video, and I'm going to post it. It's a great video about using a lemon to detect negative energies in your home or in your space and in your environment. And the lemon technique really, really works. Basically, you get a lemon, you put it in your bedroom, in your different areas of your house. Where the lemon starts to rot very quickly, rot and mold very quickly, it's absorbing negative energy. So it's showing you that there's a lot of negative energy in your space. Salt and vinegar also does work. You can put a bowl of salt and vinegar in the space, and that'll absorb the negative energy in your space. You can use the egg technique. So the egg technique is you get a raw egg in its shell, okay? You rub it around your body. And you just rub the raw egg around your body. Not hard, because you don't want to break it on your body. And then after you rub it around your body, you put it in a glass of water. You break it into a glass of water. And you'll see if there's a lot of negative energy around you, or negative energy that has been projected towards you or in your auric field. You'll see that there's like spikes. Like these spikes, they're kind of like hairs that sort of come off of that egg. And so that's a good detection system as well, okay? So those are 3 really good detection systems of negative energy in your environment. This is a great detection technique if you believe that you are being psychic attacked by someone in particular. Do like a divine decree / cord cutting. It can be something simple as I invoke my higher self, my mighty I am presence, and I decree. I hereby release and dissolve all cords, all hooks and attachments in my energy field that are draining my energy or not serving me. I release everything with unconditional love and send back everyone's energy who has attached to me in any way that is causing me harm, across all directions and dimensions of time and space, including all multi-dimensional aspects of me associated with me throughout all timelines, lifetimes, and dimensions and realities. And I recall all soul fragments and ask that they be healed and cleansed in unconditional love. And as I recall all soul fragments and they are healed now for my highest of good, I also, in this moment, ask that all etheric tears in my auric field be healed and sealed through unconditional love. I am sovereign, and I reclaim my full sovereign energy here and now. Let it be done, and it is done. Something like that. You can make it your own, but what you want to do is recall your energy and dissolve anything that's attached to your energy. When you do this, all right, if someone that you haven't spoken to for a long time just kind of pops up and it's like, hey, how you doing? Or DMs you, or you run into somebody unexpectedly, that could be a big indicator that that was a person who was psychically attacking you. And this is because when you dissolve the energetic connection, they want to seek it back. And so they'll try to reattach immediately, like within, I would say within 3 days. This also could apply to someone, sorry, moving this again, just changing the position. Someone that you know and kind of do interact with, that you're kind of feeling like, not sure about this person. If you do, like, that decree or any version of it that you kind of make your own, and you notice that this person's just kind of like popping up and like hitting you up and kind of being like insistent, like about seeing you or wanting to connect with you, that's a huge indicator that that's someone who is sending you psychic attacks. Okay. Another, let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I kind of wrote down just like quick notes. This is probably going to be a part 2 of this video. Try to think anything else that I want to bring through. Oh, we were talking about solutions. So another way to really cleanse, and this is like, it's common sense, but it's not common sense, you know what I mean? But just setting healthy boundaries, okay? One way to protect yourself from psychic attacks and to like prevent further psychic attacks is to really, really set boundaries with people in your life, with circumstances, with situations. This is why, like, if you feel like something is a no, it's a no. Don't make it a yes just because, oh, this is a family member. Oh, I've known this person for a long time. Or, oh, I feel obligated in some way to do this thing. No. If it's a no, say no. Because once you start setting better boundaries energetically, it actually will start to dissolve cords between you and others that could be projecting psychic attacks. It's also telling the universe, hey, I value my energy, I value my protection. And because of that, it's like you're kind of standing more in your power and in your sovereignty, and that will help. Another thing too is just, again, speaking up, calling it out. Don't be afraid to call somebody out for their stuff. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to put a spotlight on it. Part of why the dark sometimes can feel more powerful is because it's hidden. But if there's a spotlight on it, if it's, you know, if you're if it's being seen, it's no longer hidden. And so it's the illumination and brings it to the surface that actually recalls and balances power. Okay, so that's another thing. If you think you're, you know, being attacked by someone on a psychic level, you can call that out. You can say, you know, you don't necessarily say, you have to say, hey, you're psychically attacking me. You could just say, I'm at a place where I don't feel energetically comfortable to participate with you or to spend time with you or to speak to you. You know, you have every right, again, to set your energetic boundaries, to set your healthy boundaries, to say no, because those things will also help to prevent further psychic attack. And always, as always, trust your intuition. You know, if you can see it coming and avoid it, you're better off than seeing it coming and choosing to participate in it and then having to deal with the fallout afterwards. You know, it's easier to avoid it and protect yourself than it is to deal with the consequences of not avoiding it. You know, that's part of the reason why I did that, the spiritual talk on sacred sensuality, dating, you know, and ascension, just because it's like, I know so many people, I know so many women who are like now like sort of getting on this ascension path and dating people and like running into a lot of situations, negative situations that they could have avoided if they just kind of trusted their instincts and didn't just pass those feelings, like it's just a feeling, didn't just pass that aside. And so again, I'm probably gonna make a part 2 of this. As of right now, that's all I can kind of think about and bring through, but I'm gonna post a lot of links and a lot of techniques in the comments for this video, just to share those things. They're things that I use, things that help me a lot, and so hope they help you guys. And again, sending all my love. You got this, all right? You're gonna be fine. Everything's gonna work out for the highest good. Stay strong, keep going, and keep growing. I love you guys. Take care.